Welcome back, and we're now continue once again with our series of videos regarding the assignments that you need to complete on your forums for CLA396. And we now turn to the assignment called the Ovid point of view. So by the time you're coming to this video, you should be either finished or just about finished with the entirety of Ovid's Metamorphoses. If not, I would still recommend that you get the whole thing finished, because in fact the later books of Metamorphoses are especially relevant for considering Ovid's point of view. So okay, so let me ask you to pause the video at this point and locate under assignments on Sakai the document called presentations. You actually opened it previously when we talked about the Ovid character presentation, and now you're going to reopen it in order to go to the last page of it in order to look at the Ovid point of view assignment. So please pause your video and reopen that document presentations in order to look at the Ovid point of view. Again, found under assignments on Sakai. Okay, have you got that open? Okay, superb. So this is the point now where you want to start imagining that you need to represent the point of view of Ovid, or possibly represent a point of view against Ovid. So you have to decide which way you want to go with this. So you have several choices of how to go about doing that are provided for you on the second and third pages of the assignment, the point of view on the page that you just opened. So I'll direct you to the page 2 of that assignment and explain to you what are the options. First of all, you can imagine yourself as a student in a debate. Imagine that you have a side, the opposing team has a side, and you need to give advocacy either for or against Ovid, depending on whether your team is going to support Ovid or go against Ovid. So you can imagine yourself in the debate that way. You can also imagine that Ovid is on trial because there are a multitude of possible charges that could be imputed against Ovid. So once again, you might want to try to prosecute Ovid in order to demonstrate that he deserves to be charged with that crime and punished. Or you might want to be his defense counsel and try to support him, advocate for him. Or you could actually be Ovid yourself and present yourself in the first person of Ovid and say, the charges against me are inaccurate for these reasons, I don't deserve this punishment for these reasons, and then use advocacy. Whichever of these projects you choose to do for his point of view, be prepared from your Metamorphoses translation to be able to cite specific passages as evidence that will back up the point of view that you give. So that should be included when you post your response in your forum assignment, and that might be a good point to initiate when, after you post your own forum response, you then go to locate other students' responses on that same forum and provide your own response as well for your attendance requirement. So look for specific evidence, especially taken directly, if possible, from Ovid's Metamorphoses to see how well that's been done in order to support the argument. Okay, so now, what are you going to be actually discussing for the point of view? As you probably have gathered by now from the character descriptions of Ovid himself before, Ovid was kind of the bad boy of Roman literature. It is thought possibly that he committed adultery with Augustus's daughter Julia. Julia herself was sent into exile because of the law of her father that banned adultery. And so it could be that Ovid suffered the same fate in real history. But you could use that as the basis for your own point of view discussion. Ovid appears to have also supported adultery quite closely in his work called Ars Amatoria. So would that give a sense of corrupting the morality of a Roman audience, possibly, in a way that would have made Augustus unhappy? Of course, Ovid also, in writing Metamorphoses, which was the last work that he wrote before he went into exile, might not have praised Rome opulently enough in Metamorphoses. Maybe he was seeming to criticize Rome satirically or otherwise, instead of giving proper praise to Rome as he'd been commissioned to do. So that could be another charge. So any of these, or even other charges that you might be able to dream up yourself, could be the charges that you're going to discuss in your point of view. So again, you can either argue in favor of Ovid, which would mean that you would be his defense counsel, or Ovid himself at a trial, or you would be on the debate team that's aiming to support Ovid, or you might think that Ovid deserves punishment, in which case you'd be prosecuting him, or on the debate team that supports some type of negative feedback against Ovid. Whichever way you go, though, present your point of view concretely, and then present evidence, if you can, from Ovid's Metamorphoses to support your argument. You might also consider other works like Ars Amatoria itself, or maybe even Amores, for instance, or Heroides, perhaps, as other literary sources of areas of conversation that you could put forward for your own advocacy, either for or against Ovid. So be really imaginative and very broad-minded with this assignment, so that you can provide as good argument as possible. When you get done, please post it directly on the forum, and then don't forget again to go and make a response to some other students' response to the assignment yourself. Okay then, the final video in this series will be the video of choice that's coming up relatively soon when we get to the last session of the course before the final exam. Okay, we'll see you next video.